All right, here we go. We're talking about your total health. Um, Too many times do I have students ask me, "What is health? Why is it important?" Silly questions, I know, but nevertheless, they do occur. Well, what is wellness? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. All right, so today we're going to just get things started off by talking about our or your total health. All right. One thing I want you to think about is a warm up. Consider in your own minds, describe how a person with total health might look and act. And again, this is probably where a lot of kids get confused. They're not entirely sure what wellness means. They've heard of, hey, you got to stay healthy, but they've never fully understood the concept of wellness. Being healthy, like for example, I woke up this morning, I didn't have a headache, I didn't have a stomach ache, nothing felt out of sorts. So I feel like my health is in pretty good shape. When I consider all the other factors of my life, you know, my work, my friends, my home life, you know, everything seems to be going well for me right now. I'm not upset. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. If there was something I wanted to change, I know I can make that change. So overall, I'm feeling pretty well. I feel like my wellness is exactly where it should be. I don't feel like it's slipping. However, if there was something to occur at home, if someone like there was a death in the family, suddenly I'd feel a little shaken. If something were to happen at work, I I would feel a little shaken and affected, and suddenly my wellness would not be exactly how I'd like it to be. It's not going to be all that great. So, think in your own mind, and we'll talk about this when we enter the classroom. Describe how a person with total health might act and look. What would this person's lifestyle be like? All right, what is health? Being in tip top shape, eating right, exercising, having great friendships and relationships are super important, but there's a lot more to, of course, your health. Getting along with other people, managing your daily schedule, balancing everything out when it comes to schoolwork, house chores, sports, clubs, activities, um, making sure everybody is happy with one another in the household. Mom and dad are getting the help from you that they require. You're not fighting them on every little issue. Same thing with friends. If you disagree with a friend, hopefully you do so with respect and not disrespect. None of this elementary stuff anymore where we get to say, oh, that's stupid or that's dumb, and then march off like we won the argument. No, if you have a disagreement with somebody, it's okay to disagree. But how you go about with that disagreement, how you go about letting them know you don't agree is very important. There are three parts to your health you need to consider: your physical health, your mental/emotional health, and your social health. In order to, of course, maintain each level properly, it's going to take some work. All right, think of it as a triangle. Okay, one side of the triangle is your physical, another side to the triangle, of course, is your social, and the last side of the triangle is your mental/emotional health. If any one of these areas of wellness or health are out of whack or has been hit hard by something as life normally throws our way, then obviously one side to that triangle is going to be a little bit shorter than the others. If we put an overemphasis on one area of this triangle, such as our friends over our physical health, well, then you might not necessarily notice that physical health has shrunk, but you're going to see that the social side to your triangle has gotten a little bit longer, leaving the other two feeling a little left out. Other two sides, that is. So you need to think equally about all three of these parts. Now, wellness is an expanded idea of health. Okay, it's a little bit of everything. Some of these things are affected by our genes and our age. Like for example, you guys are all in middle school. I'm not sure exactly how many of you have your own credit card and credit card bills to pay, or car payments, or student loans, or mortgages. I'm going to say pretty slim to none. However, when you get a little bit older, there are some adult responsibilities that you're going to need to consider because depending upon your age, it can have a different level of stress on you. Okay? So there are some things that are going to affect me at my age that don't necessarily affect you. There are things that are affected by outside factors that we have no control over. If one of your friends wants to go ahead and start a little rumor about you and get all your other friends laughing at you, that's clearly not anything you can control. You can try to take back some of that control by having a conversation with that person. But if we then blow up, we get angry, scream, yell, or even come to a physical altercation with that friend, then we haven't really managed our own selves well enough to handle that situation to help put our wellness back into place and get that triangle evened out on all three ends appropriately. So, anyway, personal wellness is determined upon the decisions on how we live our lives, how we decide on a day-to-day basis, how we choose to go about, this life that we have in this world. This video, I'm going to ask that you go to the Google slide to watch it. I have tried once already. I cannot get the audio to filter into this Screencastify video that I've created. So I'm going to ask that you please visit the Google slide waiting for you in your Google Classroom and watch this video about your health triangle. It just gives a little better explanation as to how each side of the triangle works with one another. You see here, you got your social, okay? You've got other emotional factors here, like listening to people, working well with people. Here's another example of a health triangle. I know it's not necessarily a triangle per se, but you can see that, your physical health will have an impact on your mental health and vice versa. Same thing between mental and social, and then social back on up to physical. For example, if social, let's start there. If we have a friend who is being nasty via Instagram, that might put you in a spot that you don't feel like eating that night, or you don't feel like going to practice that day because you're just in a bad mood. So that social interaction that occurred here is putting you in a bad mood, which is your mental over here. And then of course your physical health starts to dwindle a bit because you're not taking care of your body with those 60 minutes of exercise you should be getting every day, or that nice wonderful meal that you get to have at home to keep your body strong. That's just one example. I'm sure we can come up with many more in class. Starting off with the physical health to the health triangle. This, of course, deals with the body, exercise, eating right, making sure that when we wake up in the morning, our bodies feel great. And when we need our bodies to respond to a certain level of stress, they are prepared to therefore do so. Okay, so eating healthy foods, visiting a doctor or dentist on a regular basis, caring for your personal hygiene. As you guys get a little bit older, you're going to need to start paying a little bit more attention to your personal hygiene. Wearing protective gear when you're out bike riding, skateboarding, whatever it is you're doing. Get enough sleep. 8 hours of sleep a night if you can. I understand. I used to be a 12, 13-year-old kid myself. I remember staying up all hours of the night and then waking up the next morning and feeling pretty horrible because I didn't get enough rest. Avoid harmful behaviors such as alcohol, tobacco, other drugs. One day you're going to be forced into a situation in which you have to make a decision, and let's just hope you make the right one, whether it be alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs. The next side to the triangle, mental emotional health. This deals with your thoughts, your overall emotions, of course, which can be impacted by other people. Maybe people at home, maybe people at school, maybe people at baseball practice, softball practice, basketball practice, whatever it may be. A lot of times, talking to people can help with this mental, emotional health. Just getting things off your chest, letting people know what you're really thinking and feeling. Taking action as well. Don't just talk, do. Get up and move. Don't just say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and never follow through. You need to put your words into action. Focus your energy on something that makes you feel good. Create a sense of accomplishment by going out with a goal in mind, taking the steps necessary to achieve that goal. That, of course, will make you just feel good inside. I'm sure you guys have all experienced when you have or have not studied for a test. Clearly, if you put in the effort, studied hard, and you got an A, you felt pretty good. But if you didn't put in a lot of effort, tried your best on the test, and fell a little short, I'm sure you'd be like, oh man, that makes me feel a little rough. I thought I could have done better. Apparently, I need to do better work next time. Social health. This is not just friends. This is not just kids in school. This is also your family. You live with your family. You do things outside of the home with your family. You guys play if you have siblings, parents that have schedules that allow it. Uh, your social health is very important. It involves your relationships, okay? How you relate to people at home, school, everywhere else. Strong friendships and family relationships are a sign of good social health. Supporting people that you care about. Also being able to, you know, turn to a friend when things are going bad and you can tell them everything that's on your mind, but at the same time also be that ear for them. Don't just be the one who does all the talking. You have to do some of the listening too. There are some things that people might say to you that help you gain a better understanding of your life as well. So don't shut out other people. Don't ignore the thoughts that are going through their heads. They just might help you. There's a time where maybe your social wellness or social health isn't all that it could be just because you're having a simple disagreement with somebody. That happens. That's normal, whether it be in the home or with friends. Um, People don't have to always get along, but at the same time, how you choose to disagree can go a long way. If you can respect the other person's views and understand that, yes, they see things differently than me, but they're still not a bad person, well, then that's great. You're going to move along just fine. But as soon as someone says something that goes against what you think or believe, and you want to just eliminate them from your life, that's a pretty rash decision in my opinion. I mean, that's something that you're making a big change to your social wellness and theirs as well. Be careful as to how you choose your words. Be respectful. Think carefully. Achieving wellness, okay, it's having balanced health over a period of time can change. Every day is different. Okay, new challenges are thrown at us everywhere we go. We just need to be ready and roll with the punches. Okay? If you work hard at achieving great wellness, then there's a good chance that every day things will be moving pretty smoothly. But if you also understand that things can come along and interrupt your wellness streak, hopefully you bounce back and are able to handle it like a champ and not just fold and give in. Good health habits include eating right, participating in 60 minutes of physical activity on most days. I understand schedules get busy, but we got to try to put in those 60 minutes a day. Manage your stress, develop healthy relationships with other people, and sometimes managing that stress is done so by those relationships that we have with other people. Sometimes we just need a vent, sometimes we just need someone to listen. But again, as I've said already before, don't be afraid and don't ignore the opportunity to listen for somebody else, because as much as you're going to need help with your social and emotional wellness, other people do too. All right, I'm going to read this here. This is from Sophie in Short Hills, New Jersey. She is going to tell us a little bit about how volunteering can help with her social wellness. Here's what she had to say. I have been volunteering at St. Anne's Soup Kitchen in Newark, New Jersey since I was 7 years old. I have spent every major holiday there and many Saturdays, and this past summer, I started a weekly camp program. Once a week, the kids of the kitchen and I would make craft and bake a treat together. What I loved most about the program were the amazing new friends I made. When I was planning the program, the last thing I expected was that the memories I had made there turned out to be the highlight of my summer. The most important thing that I had learned was that although we may have different backgrounds, we all desire the same thing, which is happiness. This is what community service is really all about. Not just fulfilling school or church requirements, but understanding that all people are really alike. It's an opportunity to make new friends. So get out in the community, try some new things. Break out of your shell, work outside your box. Okay? Try new things. You might meet new people along the way and find out that you have great connections with those people because your similarities are so awesome. Mind body connection, because a lot of times that what goes on in our mind has an effect on our body. If we're in just a sad mood and probably don't want to get off the couch, and therefore our physical bodies lose out on the benefit of that exercise that you could have had. Or when we are in a bad mood, we just shove a bunch of ice cream down our throat. So therefore, that food that we're putting into our body, the ice cream that is probably not very healthy for us. And then again, our bodies tend to suffer without the proper nutrition. Try talking to somebody, okay? Talking to good friends help. Sometimes friends are the problem. So yeah, you're gonna have to turn to mom and dad, aunt or uncle, grandma or grandpa, siblings. But I also understand that sometimes those are the people that are creating the negative feelings. Just if you can find that one person in your life that you can always turn to, great. Please do. However, if you don't have that one person or you don't have anyone at home, please come on and let us know at school. We have great guidance counselors. We have amazing teachers. These people are all here to help you, and they are all going to be a useful ear for you to tell us what is going on. And hopefully, we can find a way to help you with your problem or your situation. Now, this last thing here, this video on meditation, I'm going to ask you again, just like the previous video, you go to your Google Slides and watch it. There is a 90-second clip on breathing exercises that they're going to have you go through. I'd like for you to follow along with the video, do the breathing exercises, because when we get into class, I'm going to ask you how it went. I just might perform that very same exercise in the classroom in person, but in the meantime, give this a try. I enjoy watching these videos from Wellcast. They do a great job of reaching out to kids your age regarding mental and emotional wellness. There's a lot of fun videos that we're going to see from them this year. But in the meantime, give this one a try. If you have questions, please let me know. But other than that, I'd like to thank you for joining in and listening. Please go to your Google Classroom and follow the agenda that you see within. Thank you, and I'll see you in class.